It's me again. You're going to get sick of seeing me. And it's me and David all day tomorrow. So again, well, all morning. So good afternoon. Hello, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
So welcome to our first Cadence Clinic. How about that? I think this is going to be a fabulous show. So you've been sending in your questions, what it is you want to know as well, and also interact with us in the comments while we're on air, because we'd love to hear from you. So where to shop and where to watch and how to shop. I get that the wrong way round, don't I?
Do you want me to let everyone know you're
I know, I'm good,
yeah,
I'm good.
Good.
So you can be watching us on YouTube. However, you also need your social media platforms open as well to be able to shop. So obviously you can see us on Facebook, Instagram, and also on our fabulous website, which is incredible. Now you need to shop by giving you a code. So you'll type in shop and the code I give you into the comments, whichever social media you're working on. In your response box, you'll then get a message from us with a link inside. Open the message, click the link, it takes you straight to our website, to your basket, log in and check out. It is so easy to do that. Then when you're shopping with us on our website, again, super simple. Click on the items that you can see. I don't know if they're across the bottom or on the side. Drop into your basket. Always on the side. They're always on the side. Click it. Drop into basket. Put into basket. Add to basket.
Yeah.
Add to basket. And it pops it in your basket. At the time you do that, a little icon will appear that's a little red shopping bag. When you've finished adding everything to your basket and you want to check out, click on the shopping bag and you'll go through the same process again, log in and check out. How easy is that? That is really easy. So, I can't wait for this.
Wish it was as easy to say it all.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, especially when you borrow somebody else's teeth for the day and bedding them in. So
nice.
We've got some amazing deals. Fabulous products, lots of things, exciting things. So we're going to show everything. So we're going to go whoosh, down there like that, show you everything so you can see what is there for you. And then we're going to start firing questions at David, and he's going to be giving you all the answers. Which is amazing.
Yeah, of course, it's a great space for you to get involved. And Ken, this is the first time we've done one of these live, and we'd love to do more of them going forward. Of course, not only on Cadence, but other brands, of course, that we share here at Highlight Crafts Live Shopping. So if you want to know ones on Brother, of course, I imagine there's tons. Of course, whether it's just dyes in general, or about, of course, everyday crafting needs that you want to get involved in. But this is the one for all your mediums with Cadence. Maybe there's a product you've had for a couple of years, and you've still been reluctant to open it from the bottle because you bought it and can't remember why you ever did, or, of course, what the demonstration was. Of course, it is one of those where you can get involved, stay interactive, and get your questions answered about Cadence.
So we've got a question already from our lovely Maggie. So she's asking.
Let's have a little look.
Yeah, so we've got.
So it's coming up just on there for you. Okay, so we've got a pot of finger wax that's gone hard. Can it be revived? Okay, that is a great question. So with your Cadence finger waxes, of course, if you take the lid off and leave it off for just momentarily, sometimes if you have it off for a couple of hours, it can form a bit of a film on the top.
Right.
Okay, and you can rehydrate that with a spritz of warm water, okay, and just a little generous stir will reactivate it. If the entire pot itself has gone rock solid hard, and of course the seal wasn't tightened or the film has been removed and it is thoroughly dried up, it of course unfortunately has gone at that point, okay?
Right.
If it is fully set solid, you can't revive it because it's designed to dry solid. Of course, if it's only a film that's created over the top, you can rehydrate that and get that back to life. But of course, if it has dried solid, unfortunately, that means you've got a lovely little pot that you can refill, but the wax itself, I'm afraid, is probably going to have to be disposed of.
Oh, okay. Thank you for that.
Okay.
So, oh my goodness. So this is Shop Aqua, and it's a $11.99, okay? Absolutely fabulous. So you've got a 250ml bottle of Aqua Stone varnish. Now, David, what are we doing with this?
Okay, this is the 120ml, this one, but this here is your Aqua Stone varnish. Now, of course, this gives you a gloss finish, of course, on woodware, metal items, whether you're using it on exterior surfaces or interiors as well. Okay, so with this product, it can go over painted finishes, it can go over marbled, it can go over rice paper, and this will give you that wonderful enamel coating. Now, it's moisture and water resistant, which means even if you're going to use it in somewhere that's prone to high levels of moisture, such as a bathroom or a kitchen, conservatory, but areas that may generate a lot of steam, or of course areas that you might do a lot of washing in. So if you're cleaning down, of course, the surfaces and you've painted your tiles, you can use Aqua Stone to seal and coat it in. Of course, as follows with the majority of the Cadence products, 21 days to allow it to fully cure at room temperature, giving you that bonding process. But it means as well that you can have longevity with your crafts. If you're making and selling, it will encase, encapsulate, and keep all of that painted artwork treasured and safe, and of course free from flaking off or getting damaged by the weather.
Fabulous. Thank you
It's
for
brilliant.
that.
It's if you use a really soft brush as well. I've got plenty of brushes in my stash, tons of them. But when you're using Aqua Stone, always make sure to use the softest of brushes that you have. The reason for that is you can create a glazing with it so it has no brush strokes in at all.
Oh.
If you use a coarse brush, so say if I applied it with a stencil brush, it's going to, of course, impress into the surface and leave me with tram tracks, okay? But if you do it super soft with a really lightweight brush, it will just glaze over the top like your lacquered handy, and it'll almost look like it's been through a kiln.
But if you do it stippled, you can have a texture.
Yeah, absolutely, you can have a texture. It does self-level, but it will retain some texture.
I have a question. Can you add colour to it?
Yes, you can do. So if you want to add a little bit of ink, or of course you're going to go in there with a little bit of your Cadence acrylic, you can tint it so you've then got a colourised glaze, which then turns into a translucent glass paint.
Like that.
Yeah.
So I love these. Now these are some of my favourite products to work with. Oh, he's got his shakers. So these are Shop Stone. These are your Artsy stones, and it's $5.49 for both of them. So these are Cadence Artsy Stone Duo. So $5.49 for both of these Shop Stone. I love doing these.
These are fabulous. Now, what these are, you've got essentially plaster balls.
Yes.
Okay, so you've got your smaller ones in one side, and you've got your larger balls in the other one. Now, you can see you do have a variation of size in there as well. They're incredibly lightweight. So if you're using your Capella and you're pasting your Capella paste onto a surface, sprinkle some of these Artsy stones onto the surface and push them in. They create incredible texture and detail. Now, when you've got these, of course, set and impressed into a surface, you can then gesso it and then go over with your gilding waxes.
Wow.
Loads of other finishes that create a tremendous amount of texture. Now you've got your really fine ones, which are all the same size. Then you've got your variation of different size balls inside there as well, and I absolutely love them. They are literally round spherical elements of plaster.
And they're fabulous. They're super light as well. They really are super light, and they go a long way.
They do, and they're really lightweight, but also because they're so porous, they will absorb colour, so you can paint them as well.
Hey.
Use them for shakers and all that sort of stuff.
I like that. So the next product we're going to go on to is at the front. So this is your brush cleaner. So Shop Clean. Again, you're getting two 70ml bottles for this, $9.99. Now, I know Stephanie absolutely loves this. Is a must and essential. If you're a painter and you use brushes, you absolutely need this in your stash, in your kit.
You do. Now, the beauty of this product, and the fact that you're getting two is even better, but if you're using your decorative painting process with Stephanie, or you're just using any general paints with all of your brushes, this here actually eats away at the paint. So if you run your brushes under the tap with warm or cool water, it may look clean upon initial first glance, okay? It looks like you've taken all of that paint out of there.
Yep.
But of course, where all the bristles are crimped together in that ferrule, you'll find that some of that paint will have soaked up and absorbed. Now that, through time, can graduate through the bristles, giving you quite a stumpy, solid base to your brush, which in effect eventually will mean that brush will have to be disposed of. Now, if you rinse your brush through just with water to get the most of the paint off there, and then put a small portion of this, it's like syrup, okay, the way it goes onto your mat, and then dance your brush into that back and forward, wishy-washy, into the brush cleaning gel, you'll see it will foam up and it will eat away at the paint. It will take that, of course, out of your brush. Once you've removed the brush from it, rinse that back under the tap and your brush will be perfectly clean. Now, of course, some paints will stain brushes, which does not affect their use at all. You could end up with a bright pink brush, but it's perfectly clean. But what it will do is it will take the residue of the acrylic out of that brush, meaning you've still got the soft, fibres and bristles that you expect.
So that's an incredible bargain, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah,
You're
it's
getting
brilliant.
those
I
two.
love the stuff. And of course, use it on your sponges, use it on your mop brushes, use it if you've been using your gilding materials, the lot. It's not just for paint, it's also for adhesives.
Yeah, which is fantastic. Now, the next bundle. So this one is already a limited stock.
Oh,
so
okay.
this is Shop Carnival, $34.99. You can see the saving. You've got Carnival Pour and Canvas Bundle.
All of these together. Now this here for you is a wonderful Summer Brights collection of your acrylic pouring paints. You're getting here a litre of pouring paint because of course you get 250 ml in each bottle.
Wow.
And you're getting 4 bottles. You're also getting an A4 stretched canvas, which is brilliant. But again, great value for money on this bundle. With this, it's already pre-mixed with your silicone oil inside it. You can add additional silicone oil to create an incredibly high-depth cellular diffusion on there. And I'll go through and show you that during our show with some quick demonstrations. But this is a great bundle to go for. If you're wanting the premium pouring paints from Cadence, this is the bundle for you.
Isn't that amazing? I'm really looking forward because I love it when you do the paint pours.
Oh, it's fab.
Are you doing a mucky pour?
Am I doing a what?
A mucky pour.
Might
Is it a
do.
dirty pour?
If we've got any left, I will.
They're all called something different. So if you're one of these that love doing the pouring, get this in because this is an incredible saving. To get, did you say a litre?
A litre, you get 4 250 ml bottles.
Of paint. And I love this colourway.
Yeah.
Can you mix the colours?
Yeah, you can pre-mix before you pour, so if you wanted to make different tones, you can do. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. They will stay separated until mixed.
Lovely, love that. Now, the next one we're going on to, this is quite an important one when we go into the pouring mediums and things,
It is.
Isn't it?
Absolutely. Now this here...
Now, this is Shop Oil. It is $12.99 and it's a triple pack.
Ooh.
Now, why do we need the oil?
Okay, so silicone oil is, of course, the favoured substance to use within acrylic pouring to create those cells. Now, you can see, of course, just on the imagery there, you've got all of what look like bubbles coming to the surface of the project. Now, what this does is it causes a separation. So with colours intermixed with one another, as you've put silicone oil in there, it will naturally retract, okay, and create ripples and cells on the surface. And when I say cells, they're basically like loads of halos all over the surface where the oil splits the paint. Now it will dry like that, okay? You can increase it by adding a flash of heat with a blowtorch, or even with a heat gun you can remove the bubbles and watch the cells appear. It will do it gradually on its own as well. Now these pouring paints have silicone oil already inbuilt into the formula, but if you want to amplify that and make it even more concentrated, just a couple of drops of this into your decanted portion is all you need.
Is that all you need? Just a couple of drops?
A couple of drops inside there.
I know I have seen you before, though, use a cocktail stick on some of it.
Yeah, so if you do an acrylic pour and it's laid out flat and you've used your pouring paints, and then you put a little bit of this just into a cup and use a cocktail stick to almost pinprick over the surface of the project, what it will do is as that silicone oil is pushed through the top layer of paint into the base coat, it will get the layers to separate like this. So if your top coat has pink and the mint colour is underneath, it will reveal it so you create almost polka dotted and chameleon pours.
How cool is that? It is one of the coolest things to watch. And then if you leave it, walk away and come back, it's totally changed, hasn't it?
Absolutely. I'm going to try and do something if we've got something left later, which is a slider. So where basically you do your acrylic pour and then you put another colour all over the top, and that colour then splits and separates, revealing the pour underneath.
Oh, that's exciting. I'm so pleased we've got 2 hours. Right, the next one we're going to, I know this has been on a few shows. We bring it back because these are properly, you know, these are like your go-to mediums, aren't they? So Shop Magic, $14.99. This gets you the Bond and Seal starter set.
Absolutely. It's all you need, of course, for your initial starting crafting. It's your Bond and Seal kit. It comes with 5 glues inside here, your antique, your dishwasher, your fabric, your matte and your gloss. Of course, this is the perfect, not only tester, but one to get you going for every craft with rice paper. We'll take you through some shows as well. Get hold of this now because we've got it in stock and we've got a fabulous brand new rice paper show on Monday. You're going to want to have this in your stash ready to use for those new papers.
Thank you, David. Then we're going to go to our gloss. So this is your primer gloss.
Okay.
So again, fabulous. So shop gloss for this one. Now this is a huge bottle that we're bringing you here. So it's your primer for gloss surfaces, 250 millilitres, $8.99.
I know, this is an incredible price. Now a lot of you paint onto plasticware or onto glazed surfaces within your home, and we get a lot of comments and questions saying, my paint hasn't quite grabbed to this area. This is what you need if you've got a high gloss finish. For example, if you're working onto a kitchen cabinet, a tabletop, or even if it's just some decanter jars that you wanted to upcycle and decorate. It is a fluid formula. It's a thin layer that you need, and what it does is it creates a key for the paint whilst being translucent, so it doesn't affect the colour that you've chosen to work on top of it. It is brilliant stuff, and of course, that there is an all-round gloss primer.
And that's a huge bottle that you get in that for $8.99. Now, the next product that we're going to go on to, I'm going to say, is the plastic. So plastic primer, this is already limited stock, everybody. So if you're wanting that, you need to pop that into your baskets. Shop Plastic, $8.99. Again, 250ml tin. So again, David, this is, I'm going to say, it does what it says on the tin.
Quite literally. It is. It's a plastic primer. It's a solvent-based medium, this one, okay? So be cautious when using it. I would recommend to use it either outside or in a well-ventilated area. What this does is it knits and grabs into the surface. So if you wanted to decorate a patio set that was made of plastic, whether it's a tabletop, whether of course it's plastic exteriors or interiors, whether it's a sink basin, anything at all, use your solvent-based primer. It knits into the surface, leaving a perfect contact on the top for all of your paint to grab to.
I like that idea.
It's cracking stuff. I absolutely love this. I swear by it. I've used it for all of my plastic pots in the garden. Loads of projects.
Is it coloured?
It's completely clear.
Right, okay, lovely. Again, if we wanted to colour it, could we do that?
You could do, but with the primer, I would leave it as it is because, of course, it's designed just to be used concentrated.
Right, okay, fair enough. So now we're going to move on to this. Oh, primer's gone, everybody, well done. So this is your Decoupage Plus, okay? Now, David uses like buckets and buckets of this, literally.
Yes.
So Shop Glue, $5.99. It's a matte finish and 90ml.
Absolutely. So all interior surfaces, furniture upcycling, whether you're going to go on to your MDF projects, if you bought the MDF kits from Mel and you're printing your downloads, that sort of stuff, this is the one you want to use on all of those craft surfaces. It's brilliant. It's completely translucent. It dries clear, and it's great for napkins and rice papers.
Nice.
Of course, this is for all interior use, so it's a more cost-effective way of you being able to craft on all of those fabulous surfaces with, of course, not having to spend a lot to do so, and you get a really big bottle with it.
That's fabulous, like that. So now we're going to move on again. So these are your fabric, and again, David uses this by the bucket load. This is your fabric decoupage glue. So Shop Fabric, $8.99, 120ml pot for this one. Now, obviously, again, it says what it is. It's for your fabric.
Absolutely. So whether you're going to go onto denim, calico, whether it's jersey, whether it's cotton, whether it's interior or exterior fabrics, what you can do is adhere your rice papers to that surface. It has a rubberizing compound inside there which makes it flexible and makes it grab to the fibers of that fabric, whether they're of course an open weave or a tight knit. And what that does for you is it allows it to be machine washable. So once heat set on the back with an iron with no steam, you can wash your fabrics at 30 degrees and the rice paper will stay in place without fraying, curling or colour bleeding.
So another one of the glues that you need if you're doing your mixed media is our napkin glue. This one, again, 120ml bottle, shop napkin, $9.99.
This is a brilliant, brilliant product. So if you love your dishwasher safe medium from your bonded seal kit, this is your large scale version to be able to use. Now you can use it of course with your napkins, so it's an incredibly delicate glue, but you can also use it with your rice papers. So on glassware, ceramics, interiors, going through the dishwasher, out in the garden. Leave it to cure for 21 days and then it's permanently bonded to your chosen surface. It's for all rigid surfaces.
Love that. Now we're going to go on to the next one. Now this is Petal porcelain. This is one of the ones that I actually really love because I can paint this onto the fabrics, shape it, leave it to set, and it actually lets my fabric look like flower petals. It's a hardener for your fabric, isn't it? And I adore working with this. And then also I've added different substrates on top and coloured it. So this one is Shop Petal, $9.99. And again, 250ml in that.
It is brilliant. So of course with this, it's Petal porcelain. It sets all of your fabric super solid, allows it to shape. Once it is dry, the fabric literally will stand up on end. It is brilliant stuff. Your fabric like cottons turn into sheets of cement.
You can.
You want to give it a go. It paints white, it dries clear. So of course on your patterned or colorized fabrics, don't worry about any of the print.
Lovely. Are you loving all of this?
Okay,
So,
I love this.
I love
brilliant.
this.
I absolutely think this
Favourite
is fabulous.
tool.
We're going to demo this, of course, during the show for you today. This is your Cadence wood grainer.
It is Shop Grain, $8.99 for this one.
Okay, so of course you've got your bristle end, I call it the moustache on this side. Of course, for creating great texture with your capella pastes.
Yep.
But then this side here is what has your domed rainbows on. Now, when you actually oscillate this and rock it back and forth, you can then create a faux wood finish with all of your acrylic paints, all of your matte paints, all of your metallic paints. It is a brilliant tool. I'm so glad Cadence brought one of these out. There is two variations. We've got, of course, for you the original on today's show, which is by far our most popular one. It's all silicone based. It means it's fully washable and you can use it with oil and water-based paints.
Yay! Like that. I like it when you can buy a tool.
Okie dokie, so
we've got...
look at this.
Oh, these are exciting.
These are incredible. Right, this here we launched on Monday. This was a brand new collection, of course, of your Cadence glass and porcelain paints. They adhere to your glassware and your ceramic ware, and you cure them in the oven. Now, I'm really excited about this because we've had loads of questions about, well, what is the difference between this paint and a hybrid, because they both go on glass? Well, we're going to answer those during today's show. This here for you has an enamel glazing coat within it, okay? So it's self-sealing, it's self-glazing, it's scratch fade resistant, okay? And it doesn't peel or chip. It's designed to be cured in the oven at 180 degrees for 20 minutes. If you're working on a surface that cannot be put in the oven, such as an ultrafine champagne flute, then you want to leave it for 21 days to cure. It is their most superior glass paint within their selection.
And look at the colours you're getting.
All of them.
So Shop Bundle gets you all of these. There are 18 colours in this set. So it's £59.99. But look at the saving that you're getting. It should be £107.82. It's £59.99, 18 bottles of that paint. It's gorgeous. But I can't believe how many colours. Now, I do have a quick question.
Yes, sure.
Can you mix the colours and make your own?
Yes, you can do. You'll feel that, of course, the paint is a completely different consistency to you working with a hybrid. It's almost got a gel-like formula. It's fully opaque as well, so it light blocks. It doesn't allow light to actually flow through it. It is brilliant. I absolutely love this paint. I swear by it, using it, of course, for personalisation through your stencils or freehand, such as Stephanie's decorative painting.
I'm super excited about these.
Yeah.
Because I've not seen anything like this before, David. Now, these are your metallics. Shop Metallic, again, these are glass paints.
They are indeed.
Oh, wow, look at that. So these, $14.99, okay, a bundle, three-piece bundle. Look at what you're getting, your copper, your silver and your gold. Now, these are yummy.
They are indeed. Now, this is your selection of 3 metallic tricolours. With those, you can, of course, intermix all of them, but these are a pearlescent flat finish metallic, which, of course, is oven-proof and won't fade or, of course, tarnish through that curing process. It works really well and so complementary, of course, with all your opaque glass paints at the same time. These 3 on their own have been incredibly busy. We have seen so many of you already showing your projects with what you've created with these brand new paints from Cadence. We wanted to bring you the whole range. That's exactly what we've done. You were asking for new products, but these 3 are by far one of the most favoured elements because who can't resist a metallic?
No, magpie. Anything shiny, it's got to go in the basket.
Of course it
I
does.
adore these. But the deal is incredible.
It
Absolutely
is.
love all of this. So, where are we off to now, David?
Okie dokie. So we have a look at some of our questions that have been coming through from our fabulous viewers.
So throughout the show,
Yeah.
keep your questions coming in. As many as we can. We will try and get as many answered as we possibly can, David.
Okay, great. So let's get the first one in.
So our first question is from Alison.
Okay.
Can you use the new glass and ceramic paints on resin? Oh, there's a question. Thank you, Alison.
That is a brilliant question. Now, of course, if it's resin like an epoxy resin, I would suggest that you would use something like a hybrid, of course, because that is a plastic surface, essentially. If it's resin cast, you can use it on there, but it wouldn't be, of course, within the same properties because resin cast isn't dishwasher safe, and it's also not curable in the oven.
Right.
Also, epoxy resin as well, you wouldn't want to put in the oven to cure it because it would melt.
Yep.
You can cure things, of course, for the 21 days at room temperature, but if it's resin cast, yes, you can use it, but of course it's not fully washable, but it will give you a wonderful glaze coating. If it's your epoxy resin, yes, you can use it, but then same again, the curing processes are differently. If you could definitely specify which resin it is you're working with, that would be brilliant. But again, you can use these on a multitude of surfaces. But of course, the endurance would be ever so slightly different.
So then I have a question. If you
Okay.
do put this on and then you use your Aqua Stone over the top, does that make it different?
Yes, absolutely. Your Aqua Stone is a finalised coating, but of course, remember as well, with your Aqua Stone, it's not necessarily something we would say would instantly make it dishwasher safe. It
No.
would make it waterproof, but again, it would mean that you could clean it, you could polish it, you could use it in and around your home as a functional, not just decorative item. But the glass paints have been designed so they shouldn't ever need any of that.
Yeah, okay. Lovely, thank you. Brilliant question, Alison.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Let's have a
question
look.
number
Ooh,
two.
we've got another one.
So
Fabulous.
we've got from our lovely Susan. Thank you for getting your questions in, ladies. Thank you, Susan. So if I paint part of a flower in acrylic,
Yeah.
okay, they use watercolour to finish, do you think they would mix together?
Oh, okay. Well, if you're using a hybrid acrylic and you've already painted in part of that flower with that acrylic paint, if it's still open and it hasn't set, yes, you can mix them together, so you could drag the acrylic into the watercolour. If you heat set or just blow dry that part of the acrylic painting, of course it won't move, it will be set in place. So for example, if you wanted to do maybe the outer edges, then watercolour blend on the inside of the petals, you can keep them separate. But if you choose to blend it, maybe just add a little bit of extender into your acrylic paint, and that of course will then allow you to create a colour wash with it and watercolour. I hope that answers that for you, but it's nice to think as well of cross-pollinating different mediums within one painting.
Which is fabulous, isn't it? So where are we going? So thank you, Susan and Alison.
Oh, we've got more questions as well. Ooh, okay. So we've had a new question in as well about can we use, of course, the new glass paints on kitchen cupboards, doors and things like that from Christine. Great question. What I would suggest doing for something like that is use a hybrid paint.
Okay.
Okay, these are designed for glass and ceramics. Of course, with their opulence, with their expertise in formulation, I would keep them concentrated to glass and ceramic. That's what they're designed to grab to. If you're wanting to do something like cupboard doors or kitchen cupboards, like I did at home, I used my hybrid paints. Now, they are an all-coat multi-finish paints. Of course, they will go to different surfaces.
Yep.
But on things like your kitchen and cupboard doors, you're going to get far more coats and coverage out of it. This here is designed to be used in more smaller spaces, such as glass plates and ornamental pieces. This is great. I mean, I've painted my front door in Cadence.
I know you have.
I painted my kitchen. When we moved into our house, we had our kitchen for about 4 years, and we knew we wanted a new one, but for 4 years' time, I wanted to paint it. So I painted the entire kitchen cupboards with my Cadence paints. Of course, I stocked up on it so I could get a lot out of it, but for a standard front door, I think I used 2.5 of these bottles, and that was a whole front door with 2 coats.
So these are $14.99. You have got the options of Shop Rose, which is beautiful. Look at the colourway that you've got there. Then you've got, this is Vintage Rose. Then you've got your Shop Heaven, again $14.99.
Beautiful selection of bright colours inside there. I really like those. And they're all 570ml pots inside there.
And then you've got Shop Floral is your last one as well. Aren't these just stunning? Now, again, you know, we know Cadence. They are alchemists with paint,
Wait,
aren't
is
they?
that
They
right?
really do know what they're doing.
Each one of these are $14.99,
Yes,
did you
sorry.
say? These should be around about $4.99 per paint, okay? If you look individually on the website, when you buy hybrid acrylics, when you stock up on your favourite tones, you're looking between $4 and $5.99 depending on some of the shades.
Ooh.
That is a bonkers price. These should be usually around about $24.99, that kind of price, $22.99. That is incredible value for money. Stock up on your hybrids during this show. We've got a dedicated show, of course, to Cadence itself, which has then given us the opportunity and, of course, as well, the freedom to be a little bit crazy with some of the prices. So that there is an incredible bundle. You've got to get hold of those funds together.
So we've got another question. Question number 3.
Oh, wonderful.
So, Fran,
Hi,
what
Fran.
is the difference in specific paints when hybrids are meant to cover all surfaces?
Great question.
That's a good question.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I
absolutely.
get that.
Yeah,
so why
so-
would I want something else if the hybrid does it all? Yeah,
That's
I
a
get
great
that.
one. I love that question. I tried to answer it as many times as possible, so this is a great space to do it in. Of course, a hybrid paint is what we call a blanket paint. So it will cover all of those surfaces that you use day in and day out. But of course, it will have the same finish on every single one of those surfaces. So if you use it on fabric, it will have the same finish and appearance if you use it on wood, metal, of course, ceramic and glassware, or of course of MDF and, you know, plastics. When we then start to specialise into our specialised areas, such as glass painting, you have an enamel built in within this bonding process. and of course it's oven curable, so it completely changes the chemistry within that paint. If you were to paint something with your hybrids and put that in the oven, the colour is going to yellow and completely spoil. This here is a glass paint, so it's formulated for glass adhesion. Of course, your hybrids are still waterproof on glassware, but it will not have the same enamel glass paint finish that you would expect from here. Of course, Cadence also formulate fabric paints. So those fabric paints have a completely different look and feel and move differently on the fabric. When you paint acrylics onto, of course, fabric, you can still feel the paint in there. When working with a Cadence fabric paint, the paint itself is designed to, of course, absorb into the fibres and feel just as the fabric did before you painted. So there's loads of different ways in which, of course, the paints feature upon the surface and how they act within that zone as well. So, of course, hybrids are one of my go-tos, my all favourites. They're our hero products. They're a blanket paint which do all jobs exceptionally, but when you want to go into a specialised zone within your crafting, pick the right paint that's been designed to do that job. So, glass paints if you want to have champagne flutes that look beautiful and going to last you a lifetime. Of course, as well, if you want to work on something maybe like your clothing, or of course everyday tote bags, use a fabric paint to get that surface, get that finish. And that goes as follows for all of our paints, of course, that are in their specialised sectors. Hybrids are a staple. I have every single shade now until they bring more out. But of course, again, when we introduce new selections of course, superior specialist paints, they are designed to do that job 100%.
So we've got a couple of questions, David. They're coming in thick and fast, these questions.
Great.
So our lovely Tricia, thank you, Tricia, for getting involved and joining in with the show. Which of the Cadence products is the best to use on items for the garden and is also heat resistant for coasters? Thank you.
That's a great one. Now, if you want to have items out in your garden that are weatherproof, that are of course going to be on things like terracotta pots, or whether it's going to be a little bistro set, or maybe it's even you're painting cobbles or stones, that sort of thing, use your hybrids for this, okay? That is the one that you want to use. It's waterproof, it's moisture resistant out in the garden as well. If you can use it on coasters, of course, after that 21 days, it will have fully cured, it will have no tack to it, so you can use it, of course, with the heat of a mug or something like that. What I would suggest doing though, whilst ever working within those areas or moisture zones, is always add a coat of either your Aqua Stone or your matte varnish. That would be the best way to go. I've had items in my garden painted with hybrids now for as long as I've worked with Cadence, which is over 5 years, and it's never failed me. So honestly, it's the best way to go. Do the good prep first though. If you're working onto a terracotta pot, it's advisable to add a primer. Terracotta's porous, so of course it can absorb the properties of the paint before it's dried. There's a few things that you want to make sure to do as well, like cleaning down. So if you're going onto glassware or ceramics or a slick surface, wash it thoroughly with washing up liquid. Make sure it's bone dry, no residues left behind. Or of course, just use a rubbing alcohol and that'll get everything off the surface.
So the next question, thank you, Elspeth. So this one's from Elspeth.
Oh,
I
hi,
love
Elspeth.
that you're all joining in with us. Thank you. Keep the comments coming in because we want lots and lots of questions. Let's keep David busy. So I bought the pouring paints and the silicone oil. What else can I use the silicone oil for, please?
Okay, well, silicone oil is specifically designed for the pouring process within cell diffusion. It is directly purposed for that process. There may be some other projects out there that you can use with it, but it is a key component in creating that process. It literally is designed for that. Okay, so if you were to use it for something else, the thing is with silicone oil is that when you use it in an acrylic pour, so say you've added it to your cups and you're pouring, when you have your acrylic pour that's then dry and set, you want to then buff it up when it's fully set with some kitchen towel, and that will absorb any residue of silicone oil on the top, especially before you add a varnish because it could repel it. The beauty of a silicone oil, it's designed as a repelling process, so it will, make the paints separate. So that is what it's designed to do. If you wanted to, you maybe explore within maybe some watercolour painting, maybe drip it onto some watercolour card and go with some washes of paint, or try it with your acrylic, see what happens with that. Have fun with it, have some processes. If you've used up your acrylic pours, of course, you're more than welcome to restock on them today. But if you want to have a go with your silicone oils, just try a few different techniques. Treat it maybe as you would do like a dipping paint.
Yeah, or because it's an oil, could you use it as a blending medium?
Give it a go. Why not? Absolutely.
Yeah, have a go.
Yeah.
So we've got another question. Thank you, Jackie. Hey, thank you, my love. We've got another question. Hi, David and Amanda.
Hiya, Jackie.
Hello, darling. Quick question. I have glass dishes and I'm going to cover them with tissue paper. What do I put over them to make them waterproof? Thank you.
Okie dokie. So if you're using tissue papers, do bear in mind that on process, a lot of tissue papers, depending on where you've got them from, the colour will bleed. It can bleed out really easily. So as soon as sometimes water gets in contact with tissue paper, the ink will transfer straight away. It can be a key feature and it can also be a negative of tissue paper. Many reasons as to why. What I would do is use something like your porcelain napkin glue, and with those dishes, paint the dish with the glue. Okay, because if you start painting glue onto tissue paper, as soon as you start brush stroking it, eventually it will just break down. The tissue paper will become very weak very quickly. So paint the glass plane or the ceramic dish with the glue. I'd recommend the porcelain glue. And then go straight in with, of course, that tissue paper. Lay it on, lay it flat, smooth it over, and then, of course, go over with a brush to seal it in with, of course, the glue. Let that fully dry for at least 24 hours, and then go in with a coat of your Cadence Aqua Stone varnish. That is the best way to get a waterproof finish if you're working with tissue papers. Just be very patient with tissue paper. It's completely different from rice paper. It can break apart quite easily. And of course, if you're using a print as well, just be cautious of any bleeding you may incur.
Fabulous. Thank you for that. Absolutely.
Okie dokie, let's have a little look.
So, talking about our Aqua Stone, we've got our lovely Sarah. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, my lovely. We've got a question from Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah.
When should I and shouldn't I use Aqua Stone? That's a good question. When do you use Aqua Stone, or when shouldn't you use it? I like that.
Every day.
Oh, every day.
So, of course, when and when not to use it. Okay, so it's designed to be on all rigid surfaces. So if a surface has a great amount of flex on it, it's not designed for fabric. If you're working on something that is plastic but it's very flexible and will move a lot, whether it's going to go outside or inside, or it will flex, don't use it for that. It can crack.
Right.
Okay, so it's designed for really solid finishes. I would always use it if you've done some decorative painting from Stephanie and you want, of course, that to be a wipeable, or if you've done it in a lap tray and you want it to have, you know, a food-safe surface. Aqua Stone is great for that. Also, as well, any rice paper finishes that you've used with any adhesives, I would always go over with a top coat of varnish as well. It seals them and it stops anything from scuffing or any fibres peeling away. It's an all-round sealer, so when to and when not to use it if you're ever having a project that you want to be waterproof or fully locked in and sealed, and don't use it if it's something that you may want to add processes to going forward. So say, for example, you've done a wonderful rice paper project, but you want to add some stenciling later on, leave it unvarnished until you're fully happy with how it's finished. But I don't use it on every project. I use it on most, but not all. So for example, if I'm working onto a glass plate, and I've got a lovely glass plate and I'm working as rice paper onto the back, I'll finish that off with Cadence Hybrid Acrylic. No need for a varnish, the paint will do the job. But of course, I would go over with varnish if maybe I'd done just the hybrid paints on its own.
Right,
Okay.
lovely.
So there's loads of different ways in which these products come into play, and it's always really key as well, just to watch some of those demos.
So secure that into your basket. It's type in Shop Aqua into the comments and it is $11.99. It is one of those staple ones that you need in there, isn't it? So if you can.
Absolutely, indeed. It's lovely as well to get involved. I'm glad you've all joined us today.
Yeah, thank you. Now, primers seem to be the popular question.
Oh, the prime question indeed.
So what primer is the best for melamine?
Melamine, I would suggest for melamine, I would work with, of course, your gloss primer. Melamine has a few different finishes, but in most cases is quite slick and smooth. I would go in with your gloss plastic primer for that one. That will work perfectly for melamine. Depends on what the melamine project is, depending on what paint you might want to use on top of that. If it's serving platters, that sort of stuff, yeah, absolutely fine.
So that one is Shop Gloss. Remember, for that one, it's a huge bottle,
massive
$8.99. Now the next one is talking about terracotta pots, David.
Oh, okay, terracotta pots, one of my favourite things to paint. Love painting terracotta. It's a beautiful substrate to work on, and it's so cheap. Like terracotta pots, when you go to the garden centre, they're the most inexpensive ones.
Oh, you got some bargains, didn't you, when you went?
Oh my gosh, I did. But again, when you're working on terracotta can also be a bit funny because it's incredibly porous.
Yes.
So of course, terracotta, as we know, if you leave it out in the winter and it's got a lot of moisture, it can crack when it expands if it freezes. So what I would always suggest doing with terracotta, going with either a gesso or a primer. You don't need to use, of course, your gloss primer for that because you're going onto a matte surface. So use a bit of gesso, or of course, if you are using hybrid, you can go straight onto the terracotta. It really doesn't matter a great deal. Just make sure it's thoroughly clean. Terracotta can be quite dusty, so give it a thorough wipe and make sure it's bone dry. Go in with your paints. And of course, with terracotta, you want to do a few coats. I would suggest doing 2 or 3 coats. Even though it looks like it's fully finished and you've got a really nice, good coverage, go in with another coat because it will lock into all of those fabulous, almost, you've got loads of teeny tiny little minuscule holes in terracotta, and it will knit into all of those holes and give it a coat with Aqua Stone when you are finished. And that will ensure that you've got the best results. I've got a few terracotta pots in the garden. Some of them are a bit worse for wear. I've got a few out there with rice paper projects on as well. Some that are about 3 or 4 years old. In some areas now I've noticed as the actual terracotta has deteriorated, sometimes you get a bit of flaking of the external terracotta. The rice paper may come away with it a little bit. And at that point, of course, that's the life cycle of a terracotta pot, not necessarily the glue that you've used.
Okay, so another question from, there's lots of questions on here that have got red stars against them.
Oh,
Glad
okay.
it's 2 hours, David.
I know, right?
So our lovely Jackie Briscoe, can I ask David,
yes, you
what do you do with a lemon yellow Cadence paint which has more liquid than the others, and even with a white primer doesn't quite cover? Is there a thickener?
Okay, so this is really interesting. I'm actually really glad that we've brought this up. Now, with some colours, and this works and goes for in the decorating world, whether they're emulsions, whether they're eyeshadows, whether it's foundations, whether, of course, it's nail varnish, acrylic paint, with actual pigment that is used within paint production. Some of them, of course, are far more expensive to produce than others. Like purple is a really expensive colour to make. But of course, they managed to factor that in with all of their costing. But anyway, when you're using certain pigments, some of them have an almost sheer finish to them, so we'll require a few more coats. So a lemon yellow, and I think the pistachio from the Cadence range, which is a vivid green, do require 2 to 3 coats, which Cadence do specify and do recommend that with some of their shades, a few coats may be needed. It's absolutely no reflection of the quality of the paint, it's pigment within that bonding itself. And what I would suggest doing with the lemon yellow is if you add a thickening agent to it, it won't necessarily give you a better coverage of colour. All you will do is have a thicker paint, okay? It won't necessarily, of course, give you a better result in that aspect. With something like a lemon yellow, you may need 2 to 3, or in some areas 4 coats, depending on what you're covering. But as you said, do I need a primer? Gessoing it white will give you a better result because a matte finish always gives you a better coverage. If you've gone on with something like a slick primer, the surface is still going to be shiny and your paint will glide on the surface, giving you more sheer finish. So always gesso it with a white if it's a bright colour that's white based and you've got a looser pigment.
Thank you.
I hope that answers
Brilliant.
that. I'm trying to get them to explain them in the best way possible to give you the best results.
Can we go skip along to the demo area, David?
I think that'd be a good idea. What do you want to do? Do you want to have a look at something like wood graining or pouring? Where
are we going? Hey!
Okay,
we're doing wood graining.
Quick sipperoonie. I'll get set up then, shall I?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I'm so excited about this. So keep your questions coming in, everybody. We've got some fabulous, I know David's been really excited about prepping all his demos for this. So if you're wanting to do this particular one, we've got Shop Grain. That would get you the wood graining tool, okay? So we've got a question from Claire. So this is a good one. So we've got this in Claire, sorry. I knew you'd laugh at me because I got my teeth muddled up. So, stop it. So I got some I got a wood grainer in a mystery bag, but I didn't know how to use it. Ooh. Please, can you demonstrate? This is for you, Claire.
Go on, Claire. For you. Just for you and for everybody else. So what we're going to do is, this is actually a really important part of the process. Now, a lot of you have got in touch before and said, I've used my wood grainer. I've gone straight onto a wooden surface. Like this one here doesn't have a strong graining in the wood. It's a plywood. So although it's strong and durable, it doesn't really represent what you would naturally find within the knots and grooves of wood.
Nope.
But painting it first is a real key part of the process. Now, we've got a selection of hybrids on the show, any one of those would be great. But of course, always remember you want to base coat with a lighter tone because you want to see the wood grain on the surface. So I've got in here with a light shade from a vintage rose collection. And what that does, and the reason why that's so important, is it has almost sealed the top of this. Okay. Now, if you didn't want to add a colour to the base, you could go straight in with an Aqua Stone varnish or a matte varnish and seal the wood.
Gotcha.
The thing is, we're going to be spreading paint all over the top of here and then creating that wood grain finish. And if that paint grabs and stays, that's not going to do anything. It's going to be stuck in place. The paint won't move.
Okay.
We need the paint to slip.
Right.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take some hybrid acrylic. I've got a shade here. Okay, you can use any shade. You can do wood graining in red, brown, orange, blue, whatever you want it to be. It doesn't have to conform to any standard of wood that you may have seen before or expect to see. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through here. Let's have a look, and I'm going to add some extender. Now, we did actually have this on our show this morning, so if you got hold of this, congratulations. If not, head over to the website as well and add it to your basket. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a palette knife and I'm going to mix a bit of this paint here in with that extender to start to make a really loose solution. Now, what's going to happen is we're almost creating a dye from this, okay, a colour wash dye. So see how I've still got the same colour. That wonderful pigment is still just as strong, but I've made a much looser formula, okay? So a little bit more extender, just so I've got a bit more solution to work with. A couple of drops. It goes such a long way, all right? A little bit of acrylic inside there. Now, what you're going to want to use is your Cadence Cut and Use foam pad with this. We do have this on the show for you. It's going to be fundamental within your wood graining process, okay? So, what we're going to do, and I'm going to repeat this process a few times for everybody, so of course, it's very quick, and I want you to be able to really grasp how to use this, Claire. I'm going to stick my tissue in there, so I've got a supply. When you're using your sponge, if you've had it recently, give it a good clean out, okay, and make sure it's nice and dry as you can get it prior to working with that product, so you've got a bit of moisture coming out of there.
Because you couldn't use sponge isn't one use only, you use it again and again because you wash it.
Absolutely. So get some cloth on a standby, of course, if you want to potentially wipe it off and start again. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a solution that we've just created here with, of course, our extender and our acrylic, somewhat on our sponge, and we're going to smoosh it all over the surface like this, okay?
Oh, is that a technical term?
Smooshing, absolutely.
We're smooshing, everybody.
Doesn't have to be neat, you could have bits and marks all over it. Go in with your wood grainer. I'll do this again slowly, but then, like this, you get the result.
Boom.
Just as quick and easy as that. It's so amazing. Now, if you're not happy with it, you can quickly wipe it off, okay? So I'm just going to quickly add some moisture to this. Just activate any of that paint and just take any excess of that away now. And because we added that hybrid in there, we're able to do that. So again, I'm going to go in with a little bit more extender just to open that solution ever so slightly, and then use my sponge just to pick up a little bit more of that paint. So I want to talk you through what I did there because it was so quick. With your actual wood graining tool, you want to, because do you know whenever I watch videos, and this is me as a crafter, and like when I was learning to crochet the other day, I've been watching videos, is that when I'm watching it, sometimes I get so frustrated that they're going really fast. And I'm thinking, slow down, I've completely missed that step. And I totally get it, I'm with you on that. So, what we're gonna do is we hold it with our finger and thumb. So my thumb's on one side, my fingers are on the other. So I've got a little bit of pressure to add. Now I'm gonna start with, of course, all of these semicircles facing up. So to you here, it looks like a rainbow. Always remember, all of the open ends go to the bottom, rounded to the top. Hold it like this, and when all of that wood graining extender solution's on here, we literally rock it back and forth like that. So you see, on a length like that, I've got space for one rock and back up. If it's a really long table, you probably get a few rock back and forth out of it. And the quicker you rock back and forth, the closer together your grooves are going to be. So let's do it again, shall we? All the way over the surface with, of course, that extender and paint together. Any colour could be used.
Technical smooshing.
Smooshing all around. Again, hold with finger and thumb, have it facing out, rock it towards yourself, press down, and that's where you create that wood graining. Just like that. There you go. It is so quick, so easy, and so simple to do. Let's wipe it off and do it one more time for everybody.
Yes.
Okay, so we take it away if we're not happy with it. There we are.
Yeah, it is definitely that. Sorry, Andrew's in my ear. It isn't a stout, it is definitely a dragging motion.
Yes, oh definitely. So again, pick up that solution. I'm going to put a little bit more extender down because we want to keep this as open as possible.
So what happens when you flip it over and go the other way?
So when you go the other way, you'll get a slight, well, let's have a go. You'll get a slight difference in the pattern.
I like this smooshing.
Smooshing, yeah, I just love it because anyone can do it. It's so easy. So if you work the other way, it's going to drag it backwards a little bit, so you get a larger open.
Hey!
It's not an issue though, but of course it just is a separate way to use it.
Look at that.
So you're just rocking it backwards and forth. Now because you've used extender in here, let it fully dry. You can heat set it, which of course will take just a few moments. But I want to show you that if you're working onto open wood and you've not had any paint or any varnish on top of it, when you go in with that extender like this and rub it in and then try to go in with this, it's not going to move, okay? It's going to grip to the wood. So you always want to give it a coat of paint first to seal it so that paint and the wood grainer can glide. Because look at this, when I go in with that wood grainer, the friction is really strong. You want to make sure just to give it one coat of your favourite light toned acrylic paint. It could be the light yellow from, of course, that vintage rose, and then go in with your colour. It could be blue and white, it could be white on blue, it could be red on white, black and white, it could be any of them.
Ooh, black and white.
So wood grainer doesn't have to be wood. That's just one of the best ways to be able to share it with you. But that's so easy, and that's the way how to use it. Claire, I hope that answers that for you. But
Yes.
that's one of our first ones according to one of our questions, so keep them coming in.
We love that. Thank you, Claire.
Just sit it in water afterwards.
Yes. Sit it, sorry?
Not sit in water, sit it in water.
Oh.
Yeah, go
I was
sit
just
in
gonna
some water
say, why?
afterwards.
Well, why am I sitting in water? I thought you were telling me to sit in some water.
No, yeah, get paddling pool out.
Dear. So that one is shop grain. So we've got a question from Wendy. Let me just go to the questions
Okay, I'll do
and
some cleaning
find
up.
this. Have you started? Oh, lovely Wendy Corbett. Thank you, darling.
Hi,
And
Wendy.
look, isn't this brilliant? All this interactivity.
Interactivity, yes.
Right.
Love
So
it.
Wendy says, I've bought some home style matte paint. What's best to apply it as it is waterproof?
Sorry, can you
So,
say that one again?
Again, I've bought some home style matte paint. What is best to apply it and is it waterproof?
Oh, right, okie dokie, great. So the style matte paint, the 120 mils. When you're working with those, you want to seal them, of course, with the acrylic matte varnish, because that will still make the paint appear matte to make them waterproof. It is a water-based paint, but it's not designed to be waterproof. It is just matte, so it's a chalky finish. It's designed for furniture and things like that. So it's not necessarily something you'd want to really expose to moisture because it's got a rough surface, okay? But if you do want to seal it in and make it waterproof for your garden pots and things like that, use the matte varnish from Cadence and that'll give you a matte sealed finish.
What's the best tool to apply it also was in that
The
question.
varnish?
Yeah, so that's style
yeah.
matte. So what is the best?
Oh,
So she's asking how to apply it.
Okay, best one to apply it with your Cadence cut and use foam. It will give you the best texture with a matte paint.
There we go. And we do have the cut and use foam on the show. It is a duo bundle. So shop foam, $11.98. There are 2 A4 sheets for you. Okay, so $11.98 secures that into your basket. Shop foam for you all. Oh, are we going glass painting?
Why not, I reckon?
Oh, this is exciting. This is super exciting show. So,
Okay.
in here, you've also got the bundle. So I think David's working with metallics, but I'll give you the shop code for the bundle. Shop bundle gets you all 18 pieces, and that is $59.99. Absolutely brilliant. The colourway is a true rainbow in that. And then I think it is you're working with the metallics?
I am, but we can work with, of course, both
All of
bundles.
it?
We can mix it
Right,
together,
okay.
of course. So we'll
So,
start with our metallics, shall
Shop
we?
metallic is $14.99 and
Wow.
this is a 3-piece bundle.
$14.99 for 3 glass paints.
I know,
That's
right?
incredible
It
value
is.
for money. So, what I've done here, I'm going to circulate round.
So
Oh,
there's not, okay. So a little bit of an update for you all. These particular paints have been incredibly busy this week. So the stock is dwindling
dingling.
with a G or a D, dwindling with a D.
Say dingling
Very
again.
fast, okay. So it's running out.
There's not many left, basically.
There's not many left.
It's dingling.
So be very quick. If you wanted to put these into your baskets, remember Shop Bundle gets you the 18-piece and Shop Metallic is the trio of the 3 metallic: silver, gold and the bronze. This is wonderful. Now, I'm gonna just step to one side because I need to see. I might get my notepad out and make notes on this one.
Okay, right.
I'm excited about this.
So what I've done, you may have just seen me doing this. I used a wet wipe. I'm using an anti-bac wipe here, which will be perfectly fine. I've cleaned the glass thoroughly, okay, both sides. We're going to be applying our paint to the back of the glass. So, of course, we get the wonderful glass blend coming through the front of the plate itself. Now, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to decant out from our pots. They have a wonderful cap on them as well, which is great because it allows none of the paint to ever dry out. What we're going to do is decant some out onto our mat. Just here, you can see how much I've been using. Absolutely love mine. There we go. Starting to come out now. There we go.
Oh.
Wonderful. Okay, so we've got our glass paint itself, got our gold out, and then what we're going to do is go in with our copper.
That's not what I was expecting.
What were you expecting?
I was expecting it far liquid.
Ah.
I was expecting it really, really runny.
Absolutely. So you can see the consistency of this. Look at that, how the peaks are staying formed.
And it isn't.
That's because, of course, for you, this is a thicker paint, okay? It's dimensional, it holds its form, it holds its shape. You can see there the pearlescent metallics inside this wonderful, glorious paint. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to go in with some of the Cadence Cut and Use foam, and we're going to do a blend from, of course, copper to gold on the back of our plate here. So what I've actually done is I've placed a bit of tissue on here, and what I'm actually going to find is, let's see if I've got something I can just stack. In fact, I've got a stack of coasters here. Let me see if I can use some of these from my stash. Not my stash. I'm going to put these underneath here just to raise that up whilst I'm working on it. Will that work? Put them like that. There we go. That might make it a little bit...
Take one away.
David, what are you doing? There we go. Let's just go in with some gold. Let's just start it. Working with the cut and use, because of course it's going to give us that wonderful, wonderful pearlescent finish. Sometimes I put a roll of tape under it.
I know you do.
That works.
I know.
So what I'm doing is I'm going in with this. Now look at the coverage that we get on that glass instantly, okay? It is instant coverage. That's what I love about this paint. There's no need to constantly have to keep going back in. It gives you a wonderful finish.
And because I am absolutely blown away at the consistency of this. I was really expecting it to be transparent.
Really?
I was expecting it to be almost like water for this, and it really isn't, is it? This is beautiful. And then look at the pouncing technique David's using to get that little bit of texture. Will that texture stay, David, or will it flatten out a little bit?
This will keep us the exact texture. Now, I always prefer, when I'm doing full coverage like this with glass paint, to use a sponge to get that texture. It also it elevates the durability of the paint, okay? So it's ever so slightly more durable when you've got a textured surface. Now I'm mixing the copper and gold together, okay? So I've got my tricolours now through my metallics. And what we're going to do is we're going to go on top of this area and start to blend that through. So go on top of where we just painted, okay, because that then allows you to carry that colour through just a little bit easier.
So have you got a little bit of drying time as well to be able to get it to blend? It's not like it's dried instantly and you can't blend it.
You can see there where that blend is now just slowly fading through.
Look at that!
Gorgeous. So let's continue to build up copper like this and a little bit of gold as well. Mix the two there together so it's not stark copper at the moment, and then mix them in together. It's so, so beautiful. This finish on this plate is just going to look glorious, and it's all thanks to those brand new metallic tones from Cadence.
So this one, again, is Shop Metallic that you can see on the screen. You get in a trio bundle, all 3 pieces. You get your gold, your copper and your bronze all together for $14.99. This looks absolutely yummy.
It's so nice, honestly. And again, remember, with this paint, leave it for about 24 hours to fully cure at room temperature, and then pop it into the oven. Make sure the oven is cool. Okay, so it goes into a cool oven, and you want to turn it on to 180 degrees. When it comes to temperature, time it for 20 minutes, and then of course after the 20 minutes, you then want to turn the oven off, let it cool, and then you're going to get a wonderful blend.
I'm really excited about this.
Look at that through there.
David!
It is gorgeous. That there is your glass paints from Cadence, your metallic range. That was just using 2 tones together. But it is, look at that, look at it.
I know. So
It's
I have
beautiful.
a question. I'll keep putting my hand up. Question. So
Yeah.
can we stencil with it?
Yeah, of course you can.
And when
can
you've stenciled with it, you can put a different glass paint behind it to cover it.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's
Absolutely
super
you can
exciting.
do. I know, right? So I'm going to clean these up, put them back in. I'm going to dry off my plate, but I'm going to just take a few moments just to get ready. All right?
Yep, absolutely. So are we going to go? Are we going for a little wander?
Okay. Let's have a look.
We're going for a little bit of, this is live walking, everybody. That's what the terminology is, it? So we did sell out of the varnish, okay? So the varnish, so we need to, that's gone. So the plastic varnish has gone, hasn't it? The primer. Yeah, the plastic primer has gone. So we're starting again. Where are we starting? Sorry, Andrew, I didn't quite hear you. So we're going for the Aqua Stone. Hey! So again, David's told you all about how to use this. Again, please keep your questions coming in because this is super exciting. It is our Cadence Clinic that we're doing today for you. 2 solid hours of getting our lovely David's expertise. Okay, so there's not really much that he doesn't know about Cadence. He is the king of Cadence. So this one is your Aqua Stone Shop Aqua, $11.99. It is a 120ml bottle. Okay, so that puts that into your basket. The next one that we're going to go to is our Artsy stones. Now, I adore these for adding texture onto your mixed media. If you want somebody like myself that loves doing canvases, this is a must to have. They're really lightweight, okay? They're little balls of plaster. That's all they are. They're really lightweight. You get in the large and the small. It is a duo pack. Shop Stone, $5.49 for both of them. Now, when you're actually doing all the painty things and everything, you need to be able to clean up afterwards, don't you? Now, again, something that you need absolutely is a must, that if you're looking after your brushes, this is your brush cleaning gel, okay? So again, it's a duo, 270ml bottles, shop clean, $9.99. And now there are videos on that there YouTube that our lovely Stephanie has done that shows you how that works. And it is, again, one of those things you need it in your stash to look after, because when you've got your tools, do we want to see it, Andrew? So we go back over. Let's go straight over. Right, okay, we were doing that. We're not doing that no more. We've got to swap it over.
Let's have a quick look at it, shall we? So,
Yay!
of course, this here would be great to cover off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you how this happens. I've got a mat here that's nice and clean. Now, this here is a brush. Of course, if you have a little look at my stash of brushes I have here, a lot of them, they're all nice and clean, but some of them are stained. Now, this one here I was using with, of course, some acrylic paint. So what I'm going to do is show you the difference that what a brush like this still has inside it. So we're going to take some brush cleaning gel to, of course, our mat just here. You don't need much at all. And we're going to start working into this, okay? Getting any paint that, of course, this brush may be harbouring in the bristles. So it will happen almost instantly. Look at this as it foams up. You see here?
Look at the colour.
I'm already getting pink starting to appear on my mat. Look at how that's foaming up, but it's going pink. You see that? Look at this. So what that's now doing, the water, of course, took the most of the acrylic out, but now I'm actually getting out of there the paint itself.
So this is a question that our lovely Lisa sent in for us. The question was, what should I use to clean all of my brushes? Some of them are starting to look a little unloved.
Well, this is exactly what you need to do. What I would do is take them straight to your brush cleaning gel, and just if I gather this up, look at the colour of this on here. It's pink, okay? So I've obviously used this with a pink. At some point within my journey as well, you can see how, of course, it absolutely takes all of the pigment out of there. Then once you've, of course, got it washed, you can go with another brush now, still use that solution. Take it to a water pot, okay? Or, of course, in your case, run it under your tap. And then I'm just going to grab a tissue just here. And what I'm going to do is take out any of that water. And if I just get another brush cleaning solution out, we've got our pink pool here. Let's get a nice clean one and see if it manages to get anything else out of it. It should have removed all of that paint. Look at that.
Clean.
It's perfectly clean, okay? So it's removed any of that paint. Super clean, okay? This here is what you need to get your paint brushes in tip-top condition.
Look at that. That's amazing.
If you look into my water pot here, you can see where it's actually foamed up. It's foamed up the paint, and that has cleaned it thoroughly for us, okay?
How cool is that? That's brilliant. So I'm going to go to questions again, so bear with me a second. We've got a fabulous question from our lovely Tracy Stewart. Thank you, Tracy.
Hi, Tracy.
Gosh, we've got some proper starred questions in here, David.
Ooh.
So, question. Hi, David.
Hiya.
So,
I can answer that one.
I have a ceramic wax burner with cutouts around where the tea light goes. Which paint would be best to use on it, please? Oh, that's a good question.
Okay, so I would never use any of the paints that we, of course, distribute here for anywhere that's going to be in direct contact with a flame. Okay, so of course, for example, like the inside of that burner, where the heat would generate underneath, never paint inside it. Of course, it would just get far too hot. Now, what I would suggest using is something like your ceramic paint, which is designed, of course, to withstand high temperatures. So you could paint the entire exterior of that, the whole encasing with your glass paints, cure it, of course, within the process, which is stated on the bottle as a reminder as well. That would be your best one to use because, of course, it's designed for ceramic, for glass, and to withstand heat.
Yay, thank you.
Yeah.
Shall I ask the next question? Yeah, Andrew. Sorry. We've got, thank you, Amanda, my namesake. Hi, Amanda and David. Hello,
Hiya.
Amanda. So, I've got some plastic shelves, David.
Oh,
okay?
shells or shelves?
Shelves.
Ah.
Shelves.
Shelves.
Yeah.
Shelves.
So, would I use the hybrids straight on, or do I need to prime them first?
Great question. Now, it depends on where the shelves are from. Well, not necessarily where they're from, but the finish that's on them. If they are plastic, when you say plastic, are they a block of plastic? Or, of course, are they coated in a plastic paint? Now, what I would suggest doing is give them a light sand over any sort of grit, so just a sanding block like we have sold here from Highlight Crafts, and then go in with your plastic primer. Amanda's over there with the plastic primer. If you want to bring it round. That one there, of course, will go onto a gloss. So, of course, if your plastic is a glossed finish, if they're super shiny, definitely use this. If not, and of course, it's just a plastic coating, go over with a sanding block, buff them up, and go in with your hybrids.
So that allows you.
Yeah.
So
If you send a picture of it, it would be really helpful.
Yes, so we can have a look what it is. But yes, the short answer to that is if you use this primer, yes.
Yeah, primer's great, of course, as well. When you say it's a plastic shelf, if it's sort of like a molded plastic, then definitely you want to use your plastic primer. We'll try and get that one back in stock for you, the solvent one that did sell out. But if it's just a painted surface that feels a bit plasticky, you should be fine.
There we go.
Like
I love this.
A lot of that flat pack furniture that we know that big flat pack company, a lot of their furniture is coated in a paint that feels like plastic, but it's not.
Amazing.
Okay.
Oh, yes, please. So lovely. Lovely Andrew has just said, can we please look at the metal leaf bundle? And I'm super excited about this. So I'm just going to quickly go over to what you're actually getting so I can show you. It's over here. So this is shop sheet, okay? Shop sheet $44.99. In here, you are going to get your metal leaf, so your silver, your copper and your gold leaf, with your lovely super soft brushes and your fine liner brushes with these beautiful foil leaves. So you get 24 sheets, 2 of each colour. Now I'm sure David will show us what is in there, okay? So that is the bundle. So let's go back over here. How are we applying it, David, just quickly?
This bundle is incredible value for money. You're getting 324 sheets of metal leaf inside here. You're going to, of course, get your fabulous 24 assortments of colours, 12 colours, 2 of each. You're then going to get 100 of your gold, 100 of your silver, and 100 of your rose gold as well. These are incredible. Now, of course, the medium to apply all of this with is your Cadence Metal Leaf Mixion. I have fallen in love with this selection of foils. Have a look at some of these colours that we've been playing with. Of course, I've been eating into some of mine. And you've got a wonderful polished silver inside here as well. Do, of course, use the brushes supplied when you're actually applying them. You get tons to work with. I'm going to get one set up, shall I?
Yes, please. So this is the actual, let's say, glue to actually apply this with. So this is Shop Mix that I've got in my hand, $4.49, and it's a 70ml. So this is your leaf, metal leaf Mixion, and this is how you apply all of these incredible colours. Oh, can we demo, David? Because I'm really excited about this.
Right, what I'm going to do is I've taken some of that metal leaf mixing, which you absolutely need for this. What happens is when this dries on the surface, it dries tacky. Okay, so it's going to be sticky. I'm going to do a foiled flat coaster. We've done loads of detailed artwork, tons of stuff, but I want to see what it's going to look like on a flat sheet surface. So I'm going to pick up my foiling glue with my Cadence Cut and Use sponge. Okay, it's on the sponge right there. And we're going to go directly all over this wooden coaster. Okay, so straight onto here with our metal leaf mixing. Using a sponge for flat surfaces is great. Also for detailed surfaces, it will pick out any peaks or accents that you might want to foil individually. So sponge all of that glue, make sure it's all over the surface, okay? You could do around the edges as well. Now I'm going in one particular direction with this to make sure, of course, I've got a nice, wonderful, even coat. Now I can already feel the tack inside there, but we want to dry it off. So what I'm going to do is take my heat gun. I'm going to stay this side though, because of course I don't want to blast those foils into infinity and beyond. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just dry it to this side here. Okay. And what I'm also going to do is give this a second coat because I'm going onto wood, which we've not actually done yet, which is nice.
Yeah, this is a bit different.
There we are. In fact, actually, I think I'll be all right with just the one coat. It's going nice and tacky. There we go. So we want to dry it off. Of course, you let yours dry at room temperature. If you want to speed it up with a hairdryer, it'll take literally just a couple of minutes. So let's have a look and see what we've got. Okay, so, yes, look at that.
Hey,
nice.
Look at that.
Nice and tacky. So what I'm going to do now is grab some kitchen towel. Okay, there we go. And what we're going to do is just pop this onto our surface. Now I worked into a cardboard box of the day, which I would definitely recommend doing, but onto a kitchen towel is also good. It will collect any excess foil and take the static away. Now let's use some of our foil from our stash, and I'm going to use that wonderful gold inside here as well. Okay. Now you have got a selection of mop brushes included in your bundle. You're going to get your small, medium and your large, okay, an assortment of 3 sizes. These are vital within the process. The mop brushes should always stay nice and clean like this. They are designed to dust away any of that glue. You can use your smallest one to apply adhesive with as well. It's great for applying the adhesive because of course it's nice and soft and won't leave bristles, brush marks. I also love to actually apply my Aqua Stone with this brush as well. It's really nice. So what we're going to do is you can create a bit of static on your brush. You can always like brush it in your hair and create a bit of static to pick it up. Or of course just go straight to the actual foil itself. Now I'm going to take one sheet at a time. I'm just going to use the one sheet for this, okay, and pick it up. Now I'm going to use just the corner of my finger just to tease that one in, okay, and just lay it flat and let it almost parachute down onto the surface like this. As soon as it grabs, then go in with your mop brushes and start to put it down. Now you can see I've got a little space just there, so all I'm going to do is go into my foil, pick a corner, tear a small portion away, and just pop that into where, of course, that little gap was, and start to now blend, start to brush all of that with those mop brushes down into place, okay? Put it all down. It is a beautiful, beautiful craft to do, okay? Look at this. There we go, patting all of this into place. If you have missed any areas with your glue at all, you can, of course, always go back in and add a little bit extra adhesive. But look at how this
Aren't
is
they
turning
amazing?
out.
So if you want to buy extra mop brushes, or you're just wanting the mop brushes on their own, Shop Mop, $9.99, you get all 3 elements. Look how amazing is this?
Honestly, it's incredible. Now you want to dust off all of the excess foil.
This is
Keep
fun.
dusting into, oh, it's so fun. I absolutely love it. Now I've gone on to wooden item for this time, which is different. Going around taking any excess foil away, just like this, all right? Really making sure to dust all of this down. Now what I would do afterwards is then seal it with your Cadence Aqua Stone varnish, because look at this wonderful foiled finish that you get. It's incredible, honestly. The results, I've done it on some glassware here. Let me grab this one. I've actually also used the same foil on a glass plate on top of our results that we did the other day. We made this during our show yesterday. Loved doing this project. It was incredible.
Absolutely love, love, love that.
Right, what we're going to do is I'm going to get... Are we all right?
I'm just going to... Oh, is there? I thought you'd gone. I thought it had disconnected.
Amanda thought Andrew had gone, so she went to grab the phone to ring him.
So I thought we'd disconnected there. I heard a bleep.
Amanda thought she heard a bleep.
I thought he'd gone. I thought we'd lost him. I thought he'd hung up on us.
It's still with us. It's still with
Yay!
us. So that is your gold leaf. Honestly, it's an incredible bundle. 324 sheets of metal leaf in there. You've got your detailing brushes, which of course pick out finer accents. And then of course you've got your mop brushes as well.
Oh my goodness. So let me just go back over to the bundle for you all. Oh.
Have a little clean up. Okay. Let's have a look.
Artsy Stones.
Artsy Stones, right, okay. So I'm going to clear up some of this foil because I don't want it to draft away. And should we have a look at our Artsy Stones?
Yes.
Let's have a look. Okay.
Right, okay. So the bundle that we've just had on was with what David was using was the shop sheet. So $44.99. This is you've got your gold, your bronze and your silver. There's a lot in here, like David said. This is your little multi-pack of colours. So 12 colours, 24 sheets, 2 of each. And then, of course, there are your mop brushes that you saw David using in with that one. But we have added the mop brushes on their own. So shop mop, $9.99 for the 3 brushes. Now let me just quickly go to the Artsy Stones, because then if you're wanting some of these, it is a duo pack for the Artsy Stones. You get the large and the small, or actually it's extra large. Shop Stone, £5.49 for both of those. And it's one of my absolute favourite things to use in the mixed media on my canvases and things like that. So are you ready for us, David?
Yeah, can you bring an Artsy Stone with you though, please?
Which one would you like?
Any size balls are fine.
Oh, let's take both of them.
Okay.
We'll go in for both of them. Then you've got a choice.
Okay, great.
Okay. There you go.
Thank you. Right, so what we're going to use is our Capella paste with this as well. Now, the beauty of your Artsy Stones is it will create texture with you on any area you want it to. So I could paint with my Capella, so I could actually mask off part of this and do texture, or of course we could use it neat. So I'm going to do a section of this and show you what it looks like. Okay, so let's just mask off a part of this. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to go in with my Capella and I'm going to paint it on. Okay, so I'm painting that thick Capella paste just like that. There we go. And look at this. It is incredible. So nice, thick, even coverage, smoothed over the top. And then what we're going to do is add even more. So I'm going to go with a little bit more Capella and really build up the dimension on top of here. There we go. Look at this. Really build that up. And then what I'm going to do, you may have seen some of this being used in our stenciling technique show earlier as well. So what I'm going to do is take that away. So we've got one Capellaed half side, of course, of our coaster. And then let's go in with our Artsy Stone. So let's open this up, okay.
So we did have a fabulous bundle earlier on, didn't we? Which was with the piping bags and with the little, but also the Capella on its own, I believe, was $12.99 per pot.
It was indeed. We're going to sort that out for you. Now I'm just going to literally start to sprinkle some of these onto here. And we're going to use some of our smaller ones as well. Let's have a look. These are fabulous. So this morning, Andrew, at 8 o'clock, we did our stenciling technique show. Okay, there we are. And look at this. And then I'm going to put that in there. And then any excess, of course, just knock off. And then go in with your thumb and gently press into the surface. Okay, you're pushing those balls into that lovely paste. Okay, so what you're going to do is take off any excess like that. Now what this will do will set rigid for you. It will set solid, but look at that texture that we've created. So think about canvases, think about all of your fabulous projects. Maybe if you're doing an underwater collection or a steampunk.
Dragon skin.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. What I would do is gesso this black and then go in my gilding wax afterwards, but I would leave that overnight to fully set.
We love the art stones.
That's how easy it is. That's how quick, that's how easy it is to use Artsy Stones with your pastes.
So this one is shot pipe for your Capella paste. So this gets you the piping bag, which has got 100 bags in it and 6 nozzles, together with a whole pot of your Capella paste, and it gets you a little stick resistance transfer sheet, a heat resistant sheet. That's the one. That's what I was looking for. So that was in the earlier show, because piping with the Capella stuff is amazing.
Absolutely.
So the Artsy Stones on their own is a duo. You're getting extra large and the small. It's a duo bundle. for just £5.49.
Oh, it's incredible. Incredible bundle for you on this one. £5.49 for the pair of them, the smaller and the large, almost spherical elements of plaster inside here. Porous as well, so you can paint them, you can spritz onto them, you can use them in all textured projects, great for stenciling, and then of course adding in that wonderful texture afterwards. But honestly, gesso them black, go over with your gilding waxes, you will not be disappointed. It is brilliant.
So, do we have any more questions, Andrew? Where are we going?
Okie dokie. So, should we have a little look at that glass plate, of course, as it's dried?
Yes, please.
Let's see this. Look at that metallic as it's drying. It's just amazing. Look at that. There we go.
Okay. Well, Terry is asking.
Okay.
Thank you, Terry. Terry, bless
Hi,
you.
Terry.
I love that we're all interactive with this one. What is the difference between the glass paints and the new ones?
Okay, so our initial release, which is the only glass paints that we have distributed so far, which of course was last year, was the Dora glass paints. Now they launched late last year, I think it was maybe around about November time, something like that, I can't quite remember. But the Dora paints are of course from the Dora family. Now they have the crushed metal flakes in there, giving you that fabulous signature flash from Dora, which is ultra reflective, ultra sparkly. If you just want a pearlescent finish, we have the metallics today. But the difference is with your glass paint selection, they're an opaque flat colour coverage, okay? They're also an instant cover, so they're light blocking paint. Enjoying that?
It's
dry, isn't it?
It's
pretty much.
Absolutely fabulous.
But yeah, basically the difference is, with your Doras, you've got that full reflective, of course, crushed metal flake finish, which Dora paints are so well known for. But of course, if you're going to be going for your glass paints today, they are flat pigmented colours, completely different paint. Also, they have like a glossy finish to them, like an enamel.
I just can't get over these. Again, they're not what I was expecting.
But
I was expecting something. Look at the...
Picked out all of the detail within that glasswork.
It is absolutely gorgeous. Now, just imagine, I'm sorry, I'm going to go here with this one. Sorry, Andrew, if I'm...
Okay.
You see that, okay, we've gone to, me and David, we've gone shopping, we're going researching, not shopping. We're going to one of them posh garden centres.
Oh, right, yeah, okay.
And that's in the, the boutique section where they've got the trinkets and the little ornaments and everything.
Yeah.
And you see something like that little glass plate. Now, you go to all of your charity shops, unless you need to get there before David. Otherwise, there's nothing left.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go to the little charity shop, you find little nicks and things like that. You can now change it and have it to your colourway that's colour themed in your house.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is amazing. You go somewhere and try and buy that. I'm going to say a little plate with that beautiful ombre on there. You're talking anywhere $9.99 to $15.99 for a little dish like that.
Absolutely.
I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not wrong, am I? That's what you would pay, just as a little trinket on your coffee table with a few little bits in. Maybe you've got a bit of potpourri or something.
Oh, nice.
There
yeah.
you go.
Candle.
Candle.
If you're, of course, as well, if you are going onto any glassware and it's already got paints on there or it's already got something else on that glass before you've done it, then just leave it for the 21 days and don't oven cure it because you're not always quite sure what the previous paint had on it or if that is oven proof.
Top tip. That's a top tip.
As well, if you go with coloured glass as well, sometimes with coloured glass, maybe cure those at 21 days.
Got more questions. This is amazing. I'm learning loads, everybody. Thank you for asking all of these questions. So, okay. Sharon, thank you, my darling. Which glue should be used on the back of rice paper, please?
Ah, great question. Okay, so we have a plethora of glues on today's show. And of course, it depends on which surface you're wanting to take the rice paper to. Are you wanting to rice paper fabric? Are you wanting to rice paper wood, metal, glass, ceramic? These are all of the sort of surfaces you can cover. If you're wanting to maybe pick a few of them, I would go for your Magic Bond and Seal kit. Now, what that does... Yeah, sure. Do you want me to hold this?
Let me get
what that does for you is it will cover all of those surfaces, so you then don't have to think about, of course, what you're going to plan afterwards. You've got all the glues to do the job. In here, of course, you've got a 5-piece selection. So this here for you will offer fabric adhesion. It will give you an antiquing finish. It will give you a dishwasher finish, a gloss finish, and a matte finish, okay? So an all-rounder. So Sharon, if you're wanting to get into your rice paper crafting and you wanted to maybe make a glass plate that'll go through the dishwasher, use your dishwasher safe. If you want to go on a tote bag, use your fabric glue. If you want to create an heirloom antique finish with a yellowing glue, then of course add this one. And if you want a matte or a gloss glue, which of course will give you, of course, a reflective or a matte finish, that's the one there to go for as well. So I hope that answers that. But do you want to see some of it in action?
Yes, please. So we've got Shop Magic $14.99. That gets you the whole 5-piece, and it's classified as probably a starter set, but it is all about your glues and your sealers. Oh, got that.
Yeah. There we go.
Nearly. So thank you, Sharon. So again, isn't this brilliant? Double Cadence Hour for all of your queries, hints, tips and techniques, but it's lovely. What do we? Clinic. This is our Cadence Clinic.
It is thy clinic.
It is the clinic. Now, can I just quickly ask, you know that...
No, sorry.
The one that was that yellowy colour.
Yes.
What did you say that was?
It's an antiquing one. So, of course, if you're wanting to create something with an aged finish or effect, the glue itself has a slight yellowing agent in it. So, of course, it makes it look oldie-worldy, makes it look discovered.
Can I use that onto papers and things like that then?
Scrapbooking, journaling, all that sort of stuff.
Nice.
Okay. Let's have a look, see what we've got. I'm going to get ready. Okay.
Right, so we've got more questions. Thank you. Anelia, what is the Cadence product which leaves raised areas when using the stencils? Mel used it a while ago and I can't remember their names. One was thicker than the other and one was a bit lighter weight. Great question, Anelia. Thank you for that.
Absolutely. It was your Sirius and your Capella paste. Your Capella is your thinner, smoother paste, which is great for piping. And your Sirius paste is your heavier, much more dense paste that can be used to create dimensional finishes. But not only that, it's incredibly matte.
Yes. So those are your two that
Sirius
you need.
and Capella.
But Sirius and Capella. Brilliant. Thank you for that question. Okay.
Okay.
Shop Sirius or Shop Capella. I believe, were they $12.99?
$12.99.
$12.99.
Okay. Right, shall we have a look at some decoupage then?
Yes,
We've got two projects here, and do you know what? I've actually grabbed some of our brand new rice papers. Now, these rice papers are launching on Monday. So I thought, why not demonstrate some? And I'm making some samples at the same time.
Oh, I see. Yeah, 2 for 1. A twofer. We're going for a 2 for 1. I can't fault you, David.
Why not? Okay. What I'm going to do, have a look. Oh, the yellow vintage bonding seal. We have some questions about that. So if I just decant some out as well onto some paper, you'll be able to see the look and feel of the glue. So take some of that out from here. Look at that, okay? So when you're working onto your rice papers...
Looks like my honey.
It does, doesn't it? So you can see as I'm going over, it gives a yellowing effect. So if you're going onto furniture, it's going to add a yellow tint. So can you see that there? You've got a slight yellow haze. We'll try and fit in a project using it as well. But again, what that will do for you on top of like a very vintage shabby chic paper will create that really sort of chateau authentic finish.
So you know, like those pictures, those other rice papers we had of the ladies?
Yes.
Put this over the top and it would look like an oil painting that's an old, because it makes it antique-ified.
Knocks the colour back, doesn't it? Yeah.
Thank you for that. You know, we've got some cracking, absolutely cracking questions. Thank you for both of those. I hope we've answered your questions there. Keep the answers coming in. Keep the questions coming in.
Well, if you can send us the answers as well, it saves us a job.
Now, this is my doggy, okay?
Is it? I didn't know that.
No, this is definitely, I've named her. This is my lovely, I've got a husky. She reminds me very much of her, so this is Luna. I've named the paper.
Okay, there she is. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to go into fabric with this one. So I've gone into that bond and seal kit, and this is your fabric adhesive. Now, because this is going to be presented on the surface of the fabric, we want to work onto the back of the rice paper. So what I'm going to do is take the adhesive, and you can see straight away that the consistency is much, much thicker with this, okay? I'm going to use a flat brush for my application, so I'm going to start to spread it evenly across the entire of the back of the rice paper. Remember as well, if you want to get hold of these, you can't get them just yet, but on Monday, coming Monday, makeover at 11 a.m, we've got a brand new set of 12 rice papers launching.
You tease.
I know, I do apologise.
Aww.
Okay, so what we've got here is a beautiful even spread of that glue, and then just to finish that off, I'm just going to evenly spread it out. Now, if you had any lumps or bumps like that of glue, you want to spread those out evenly with your brush, because they're going to be, of course, presented on the other side. You're going to see those lumps and bumps, and it's always really important as well to go up to all of the edges, okay? Go up to all the edges of your glue, and that way it seals it in a little bit like when you're wallpapering, okay? So you want to get all those edges sealed. Then just pick up that rice paper. I'm just going to wipe my surface down to get rid of any excess glue. And then I'm going to bring in my fabric bag, okay? So bringing that into our station. I'm now going to position our rice paper in the centre, okay? You're going to find where this is going to go. We can, of course, add stenciling and all sorts to this. If you get any bits killed up, just go back to the rice paper and you can unravel it. It's stronger than you think, okay? It will be far more durable than you think it is. Take a piece of clean Cadence Cut New sponge, okay, with no adhesive on, and push that into the surface now. We're pushing that rice paper into the fabric. You can line the inside of the fabric with some paper, of course, to stop anything going through, but with this calico, it's quite heavyweight, so I'm fairly confident it's not going to. There we are. So going all the way around, that pushes any air through the fabric, so you've got no bubbles, okay? It's lovely and flat. Then what we do is we just go back in with our brush around the entire of the project like this, and I'm going to get a little bit of adhesive just to the side here, okay, and seal in all of my edges. So going around the edge now of that design, just like this, and locking all of that into place. Because of course, if it was to peel anywhere, it's going to be at the edge, isn't it? Take that bit of paint out, there we go. And then just go all the way around the perimeter first. All right, so lock all of that in with the fibres. It will dry matte, but it will have a rubberizing feel to it, which is lovely. Then we're going to go over the entire image with our glue, sealing all of that in.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Look at that. So you can dry this with a hairdryer, which will take just a few minutes, and then from the reverse, iron it with a heat gun, and it will heat set it, okay? Iron it with an iron. Fancy that, ironing it with an iron. Iron it with a banana. I may as well have said that. But iron it with your heat.
Iron it with your iron.
And then, of course, it will be heat set for you. Just make sure you've got no steam coming out your banana.
No steam coming out your banana.
That's because I just said use a hot banana. I'm going to stop. Brains malfunctioned, everyone. It's been a hot minute today. You don't want steam coming out of your hot banana, do you? Goodness me. That just appeared from nowhere. But then...
Honestly, use an iron without any steam.
And then, of course, it's machine washable at 30 degrees.
You can hear everybody laughing, can't you? Even Katie's having a giggle behind the camera. Oh, bless you. This is what 2 hours does, okay? How long have we got left, by the way, Andrew,
Half an hour.
my love?
20 odd minutes, 23 minutes.
Oh, right. How many more can we get in? How many more
Should we go
demos?
on to glassware?
Have we got, yes. Have we got any more questions, Andrew?
If we have, we'll keep them coming through.
Right, let me have a look. Shall I have a little look? Sharon. Okay, which glue should be used on the back of rice paper?
Okay, great. So we've just used our fabric glue on the back of our rice paper for that project.
Yes.
So of course, if you're ever having something that's going to be sat on the top, you always add your glue to the back of the rice paper. But for this one, of course, we're now changing the project, so we want the rice paper sat underneath the glass plate, okay? So essentially, we're going to want the glue on the top of the rice paper. So whenever your rice paper sits on the surface of your design, the glue goes on the back. Whenever your rice paper sits underneath your design, the glue goes on the top, okay?
Yeah, got that?
All right then, so what we're going to do for this one is I'm going to go in, and because I'm using a glass plate, I'd like to use my dishwasher safe adhesive, okay?
So are we staying with the Bond and Seal kit? So we're staying with the Magic Bond and Seal. So it's Shop Magic, and you get all 5 of these. So these are all glues or sealers.
Got it right in his eye there, didn't I? Look at that. Dear. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start to spread with a brush our dishwasher safe adhesive all over the front of this rice paper.
Okay.
The prep is important as well. The glass plate that I'm going onto, I've thoroughly cleaned as well. I've got rid of any dust, any grease. If you're working onto brand new glassware, sometimes it can almost feel like a non-stick. It smells a bit like white vinegar. Make sure to rub it with some rubbing alcohol or washing nip liquid.
I have a question. Okay. At the moment, you're applying that to the rice paper.
Yes.
Earlier on, you suggested about painting the actual plate first and applying it to that. Why are you doing it differently?
Because that would be with tissue paper.
Right, gotcha.
Because, of course, if I was to put this onto tissue paper, it would tear the tissue paper.
Okay,
It'd be too fragile. So I'm making sure to put a generous amount in here. I've pretty much covered it. I'm just making sure towards the top of my design there, I've got a nice, decent coverage of glue. Now you want to really gently stroke over the top of your rice paper with your brush to make sure, of course, it's all nice and smooth. Then what we're going to do is take our glass plate, okay, coasters came in handy this time, and then I'm going to try and centralise it to the plate itself. Doesn't matter which way up it is, because of course it's a circle. And I'm going to try and centralise that to get a nice even border. Now this plate is beveled, okay, so it's got a slight curve in it, which means I'm going to want to try and centralise this the best that I can do. Okay, so I'm trying to find the centre, which I've pretty much got. It's not really crucial. If it was way out, we might notice it. Then what we're going to do is now then glue the rest of this down. So with that brush, because we're onto glass, we want to really smooth that down. Here you can see I've got a bubble there. So I just want to smooth that down with my hand. See how I've chased that bubble out the edge of the rice paper and start to then smooth out any lines. If you've started to create loads of creases and wrinkles, okay, just use your brush to really burnish those down.
Look at that.
And of course they just dissolve, okay? They will just mould into the glass and fall flat. So I'm going to get some more glue. This time just pop a blob here just onto my mat. Pick it up and then start to go onto the back of the design, okay? So I'm really making sure that all of this glue is soaked through the paper, okay? There we go. Oh, we've had a fabulous question as well.
Question. Well done, Wendy. So, David, are you ready?
Go on.
Are these already pre-printed or is it a download to print at home?
So on Monday's show, the rice papers, the brand new ones on Monday, are going to be pre-printed, sent out to you, so you don't have to print them yourselves. We've had a lot of good feedback about the fact that you wanted printed rice papers, so that's exactly what we've done for you this time. My border might be slightly off, but hey-ho, it'll be fine. What I'm going to do now is take my heat gun and give this a dry, okay? Rest your brush in some water whilst you do so, because you don't want it to set, it is permanent. There we go. So I'm going to give this a dry. There we go, all the way around.
Thank you, Lauren, for your question. So with the Lauren, thank you, darling. On the screen at the moment, is the standard curing time for most I'm going to start that question again. Is the standard curing time for most Cadence products 21 days?
It is indeed. Now, of course, that then leads us into things like our glass paints, where you can speed it up, and of course, it can be done in 20 minutes in the oven. It will always state on the back of the product that you're using what the curing time is if it has one. Okay, so of course with your hybrids, again, for all of their key hybrid properties, 21 days. For a glass paint or a fabric curing paint, it'll say to heat set it with an iron, or of course, again, allow it to cure for 21 days if the surface isn't curable in those temperatures. But yeah, 21 days is pretty much a blanket base layer for all of their drying times.
Fabulous. Thank you for that, Lauren. Great question.
Let's have a little look. There we go.
So I'm just going to go on to the questions. Just bear with me.
Lovely stuff.
So the lovely Alison. Thank you, Alison, for getting in touch. So we've got another primer question, David.
Okay.
Okay. So what primer do you use on bisque ceramics?
Oh, okay. So it depends.
Great question.
That is a great question. If you're going onto bisque ceramics and you're using your ceramic paint, you don't need one. You can go straight onto there. It's an open porous surface where, of course, the bisque ceramic will absorb that paint instantly and allow you to go straight on there. So you don't need a primer. If you're going with your acrylics, also you can go straight in with those as well.
There you go. No primer.
Yeah. Of course, some surfaces require priming because they act like a non-stick. But of course, you don't need to prime something that really has its own primer built in.
Fabulous.
Okay.
Brilliant question. Thank you for that, my love. Are we nearly dry?
Nearly dry. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this one up a little bit. And I'm just going to get a little bit of kitchen roll. My best friend, this stuff. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to line my mat with a bit of kitchen roll because we're going to paint over this with our hybrids next, okay, to seal everything in and bring the colour back. But have a little look at him. How cool does he look on the back of that glass plate? Doesn't that look nice?
David!
Love that. So I'm just going to rest that to one side. But look at how, when I place this on a white surface, how all of the colour now comes back to the image. You see there as it fades? So we want to paint the back of that white. So what I'm going to do is just put some tissue underneath here. There we go. Just to line our surface, and you'll see why in a moment. Because what I'm going to then do is put my plate back face down onto here, and I'm just going to give it a quick spritz of this.
Yay! Marble! We've got the marble spray out. I'm going over here.
See ya. Right, okay, straight on with our marble. Okay, just tested, of course, I've got no block nozzles. And I'm going to go straight onto the back, of course, onto and over our glassware. Just like that, okay? That's there, perfect. Give that a quick blast with our heat gun, just to dry any of that off. Super, super quick, okay? I'm not marbled Katie, which is good. We're all clear.
Can I come back now?
Yeah, of course you can.
All right, I'm coming back now.
Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm now going to paint over this now with my white hybrid, okay? So I'm going to go in with my sponge, and I'm just going to grab some white hybrid to work with. So let's have a little look. Grab some out from my stash just here. And then let's go straight onto our glass mat, okay? So some of our light-toned white hybrid. There we go. And what I'm going to do is use that now as my palette to add this paint. So we're going to go in with our Cadence Cut New sponge again. Would always recommend it for this process. It will give you a much better finish. Now all the way round the back of here with that fabulous light tone paint. This is more of an off-white I'm using, but you could use a yellow, you could use a lovely grey colour.
Black.
Oh, a black would be good on the edge, but of course over your rice paper you want it nice and bright to bring your colour out, but it's entirely up to you which way you'd like to do it. There we go. So all the way around, look how quick that coverage.
So could you double layer and just put the white in the centre and then go over the top with the black for everything else?
Absolutely, you could do. As long as that white is on the back of that rice paper, that's where you'll get the best results. There we are, look at this. And of course, this is a series of layers that we've built up right now. And this hybrid paint is going to lock everything in as a finalising layer. You don't need to gloss or coat this afterwards, unless of course you want that silky smooth finish on the reverse, then I definitely would suggest doing so.
So David is using that fabulous cut and use foam, shop foam for this. It's a duo pack. You're getting 2 A4 sheets of the foam for $11.98.
It is brilliant stuff. You can see how I'm covering this entire plate in literally just minutes, okay? All the way around here.
It's not even minutes. I don't think you've been doing that for a minute yet.
I don't even know. It just feels like it's been 2 seconds. And so what I'm going to do is go right onto the edges. Now, I don't know if I did centralise my rice paper accurately, but of course, for the purpose of today's demonstration, it doesn't matter all that much. What I'm going to do now is just dry off at least one corner so I can pick it up and actually show it you. Okay, so let's give this a blast. There we are. And with your hybrids, when you sponge them, they take a little longer to dry because you've applied a more generous quantity of paint. Okay. Shall we have a little look at it?
Are we going to do a reveal? Do we want a drum roll? Can we have a drum roll? Andrew, can we have a drum roll, please?
Okay.
There we go.
There you have
David.
So we've got all of our marbled work, of course, on the back of the glass, and then we've painted over it. We've got our rice paper in there as well. Look how effective that is.
She's beautiful.
Isn't that amazing?
Absolutely beautiful.
Honestly, so excited.
Again, tune in Monday, 10 a.m. and you've got the chance of getting 11 a.m. Sorry, our lovely Katie is informing us. Is
11 a.m.? Yep, 11 and 12, 2 hours.
11 and 12, 2 hours with the fabulous Cadence products. So this, oh my word, those rice papers, you've got a sneaky, sneaky, sneaky peek.
Look at the cat one.
Look at that one. Sorry, hey, stop it.
Sorry. Okay. There we go. I'm going to clean this up because I've made quite a bit of a mess.
So, right, last question. Thank you, Charlene. Do you know, hasn't this been amazing? Do you realise how long we've got left?
How long?
About 10 minutes.
Really?
Honestly, I know. How quick's that gone? That's like, whoosh, gone. Charlene, can you paint fine details with the glass paints or only block coverage?
Absolutely, you can do fine details. Let me grab a paint for you and share with you. That's a great question because, of course, I have showed you some larger surface coverage, but yes, finer painting is achievable. Also, when Stephanie's back from Sandown, I'm going to sit down with her and hopefully we can have a look at doing some decorative painting with it as well, which would look really nice. So, on your glass paints, like this one I've got here, if I just grab any one of our colours, so let's have a little look. I'm going to go into either my bubblegum and maybe this green here. So with your glass paints, you can do, of course, finer brush strokes. You can see the consistency of your glass paint. It's like a gel, okay? It's much heavier and thicker. But, of course, different brush strokes are achievable. Now, to get a firm practice, of course, with this... Oh, look at that. I did that earlier.
Here's one we did earlier.
Yeah. To get a firm practice, of course, with that control on how to work with them, get some board or just a piece of card and have a play. But, yes, absolutely. Finer detail is something you can do. So if you wanted to do things like flowers, absolutely. You could do flowers with your glass paints. Look at this. Really easy to do onto the glassware. There we go.
Yes, I think you... so David Andrew's asking, can you do... I think you could. I think because of the thickness of the paint, I think you could double load a brush. Oh, sorry, Andrew said, can you do Stephanie's painting techniques? I think you could double load a brush with this. Sorry, Drew.
There we go. So if you were to double load a brush, and I'm by no means the expert with, of course, that fabulous technique that Stephanie does, but I am going to grab a brush and I'm going to literally just put out a little bit here of our bubble gum. I'm going to put a small portion out because I'm going to do a little test. And then I'm going to literally get... Well, I'm going to use my white to double load. There we are.
10 units of the bundles left, everybody. Oh, my word. I was going to put this in my shopping basket, but I think I'm going to miss out on it.
I reckon you
So
will.
the glass paints, all the bundle, shop bundle, $59.99 for everything, and that's all 18 pieces. If you do want to add in those beautiful metallics, shop metallic for that, $14.99, and you will get the 3 metallics also. I think I'd go for everything.
Oh, me too. I mean, honestly... This is it. It's a dream. But you can see the actual paint itself. It's like an enamel as you're working with it.
That will
but
double.
You can see,
absolutely beautiful.
Look at that, how it's double loading that brush. I'm really sort of gathering up here.
Go on.
Just, oh, I am not the expert within that technique. Do you know what? I do actually want to spend some time, probably over the summer, saying that like I'm breaking up for summer.
You've got plenty on there. Go for it. You're fine.
Yeah, I know. With the glass paint though, just make sure you've got plenty on there, and then you do that. Right, see you later, everyone.
Go on, David, have a go.
Right, okay, so I've got
White
a
on the
rougher
outside.
surface here, okay. White on the outside?
Yep.
Is there? I thought
White
it was.
tips.
Oh, right, okay. And then, of course, go in like this, and look at how it still creates that brush stroke, okay.
Do it on the glass.
Do it on the glass. Nervous, I'm working my way up. This is what you got to do.
I'll do it then.
Oh, yeah, you have a go. I'd love to. Yeah, absolutely. Just have a little go on here, look. So around again.
Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Lift.
And then we go around again. I might need to just load up a little bit more on
Wiggle,
here.
wiggle, 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 wiggle.
Okay, I've done
Lift.
3 petals. And then what I'm going to do... I don't know, Andrew. And then what I'm going to do is go in with, of course... my white and this one again. I'm just going to do, I've done a 3-petal flower, and you know what, fancy flowers, why not? And then let's go over and do just a little bud just here. I'm then going to go over with my white and my red again. Amanda's had more practice doing this than I have actually.
White at the top.
White at the top, there we go, look, see? And then I'm just going to do some little brush strokes in here like this, drag it through.
Hey,
that's
David!
that is honestly the quickest. There you go. Well, that's your look. There you go. You're gone. That is your quickest ever decorative painting. Do you know what? It is achievable. You can do it. Of course, if you join Stephanie for that decorative painting journey, you can. But also look as well that because it is a gel formula, it will dry dimensional. Now, just bear in mind, of course, your brush loading, you're going to want to do more frequently as you would do with acrylic because it's a thicker paint. So you don't want to get that drag inside there, but you don't want to break down the consistency. So keep it, of course, concentrated onto your glassware. It's absolutely beautiful. Should we have a little look at them as well?
Yeah, come on then.
Okay.
So these are incredible. Oh my goodness. Are you ready for this, everybody? We've got limited stocks on both bundles.
Oh my word.
So the one on the screen that you're seeing at the moment is your Shop Metallic, $14.99. This is your metallic paint bundle. You get your bronze, your gold and your silver. Mm-hmm. And then, so remember, this is limited. So get in there quick if you're wanting these. And then we've got the 18-piece bundle, which is this. Look at the rainbow of colours that you're getting. $59.99 for the whole collection. I love these.
Oh, they're incredible.
I'm just absolutely blown away at some. Look at some of the colours.
When you get them home, just give them a good mix as well with glass paints. They're a heavy-bodied formula. So just take a cocktail stick to them or the end of your paintbrush and just give them a good swirl around and give them a nice mix, okay?
Oh my gosh,
you'll notice instantly the complete difference within the consistency, of course, from your acrylics to your glass paints. Look at those. Look at that bright orange as well. Look how vibrant that is. It is gorgeous. Think about all of your glassware for the garden. Think about your drinks decanters. Think about your glassware for celebrations. Maybe you're going to go on that vinyl journey with Mel, and you'll be making your stencils, and you're going to put your glass plates through, maybe onto personalised wine glasses, or even wine bottles. How nice would they look on wine bottles, painting those up? They'd look brilliant. Look at all of those.
That is just the nicest thing ever to see
also,
that.
It's imperative you should never, ever turn them upside. I'm joking.
Well, how did they go through the post then? The postman doesn't know which way up they are.
Yeah, he does. He's got spirit level on him.
No, he doesn't.
It says, do not flip.
So
it does.
So,
it does. It
ignore
does.
him.
Absolutely, it does. It says this way up, spirit level, just take
no,
to the
it doesn't.
top.
Look, let me turn. I need to turn those over as well.
Turn them upside down. Just make sure the lid's on.
Yeah. FYI. Look at those. So, this is incredible. Now, you saw our fabulous David using this. In fact, they are, David. That's that one. You show that. Where's your thingy? Where's your coaster that you did?
Panicking.
Oh, it's
I don't.
gone.
It's somewhere.
Anyway, so this is our fabulous shop sheet kit.
Excuse me. So this here for
Look at this bundle. $44.99.
This one here, the incredible sheet bundle. Now, inside this, of course, you're going to get 324 sheets of metal foil. 24 of your colours, okay, so you're going to get 12 colours individually, 2 of each, making it 24, 100 silver, 100 gold, and 100 rose gold. You've got your 3 floppy mop head brushes as well for dusting and adhesive. We've only got a few left, everybody. We have also got our detailing brushes. I love these. They also have the ergonomic grip on them as well, so it's that anti-roll. But of course, I've got an anti-roll, and she's lovely. And of course, as well, you've got all of the caps on there to keep them nice and pointed too.
Honestly.
Anti-roll and Uncle Bap.
Right. What?
Anti-roll and Uncle Bap.
David! So mop brushes, again, you can get all 3 as they are, $9.99. Shop mop, you get all 3 of them, and these are fantastic. So these are the ones that you need to get that fabulous finish when you're doing your gold leafing. And then to actually put all this on, you do need an adhesive.
Absolutely.
So here we go. Shop mix for this one. So you do need this. £4.49. It is a 70 ml pot.
Yes,
then you don't actually need very much of this. So it's going to last you a while, okay? But look at the colourways. All of this goes beautifully together. So obviously you add this into your basket. If you put in shop leaf in, definitely type in shop mix and pop that in as well.
Absolutely. It's a brilliant adhesive. It reminds me in somewhat of the like the Pinflair stencil glue, that it dries tacky.
Sticky.
Completely different formulation, of course, but it is very similar in the sense that you apply it, you leave it to dry, but it stays tacky. Now this, of course, is for your foils. So as soon as you add your foils, it will grab the foil, it allows it to burnish, and then it sets.
Look at this.
It's just amazing.
Absolutely. So this sample, if you want to put in shop pipe, which was added to the show earlier, you are going to then be able to use that fabulous Capella which is what David did to actually put the flower on here. Then he used the mix, so shop mix, the mixion on top of it, and then the leaf, so shop leaf. All three of those has then created this incredible project.
Absolutely, it was brilliant. It's an incredible
It's a lot
bundle,
of fun.
but of course with your metal leaf bundle, it goes so well together. It is fabulous.
The hybrids. Oh, we've got minutes left, David.
Oh,
I can't
okay.
believe how we've run out of time. Shop Rose is our first one. So this one you get. Now, you were saying earlier, you couldn't believe this, could you? You said $14.99 for 5 colours. What did you say?
They're usually retailing at around about $4.99 plus each. So, of course, that there is an incredible deal for you. This is your Vintage Rose collection. So in here, you're going to get those wonderful, soft, vintage colours that are great for floral painting, decorative finish if you want a shabby chic tonal look and feel to it. This is a wonderful selection. Of course, as well, with that in mind, they are full coat coverage on all different surfaces. So think about a variety within your household. They're adaptable to all.
Love that one. So the next one that we're going to bring on for you is, what's that one, David? Shop?
This one here for you is Shop Heaven.
Shop Heaven. Look at the colours on this one. I love this. So Shop Heaven, $14.99 again. So this is your Heavenly Hydrangea. Now you can see why we've called it Heavenly Hydrangea, because of that beautiful blue, purple and pink, because you get more than one variety, don't you?
You do.
So Shop Heaven gets you, again, all 5 colours for $14.99. And then the very last, but no means least, is our floral. Shop Floral, Cadence Hybrid Acrylic Bundle. Highlight florals. Aren't these beautiful? Again, $14.99. I adore all of this. Now, with your hybrid acrylics, just a very top tip, what can you not put them on?
Well, I've not found anything you can't put them on. Other than that, candles. Just don't paint them onto candles. That's the only thing.
That's it.
Because there's a candle paint for that.
Because there is a candle. That's where your specialist products come in. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Have you enjoyed our very first Cadence Clinic? Well done, David. Round of applause.
Thank you, everyone.
For that. That was brilliant. Absolutely fabulous demos. We've loved every second of it. Thank you for the team. We had a changeover, so we've had our lovely Lewis and then Katie changing over. From myself, Amanda, and the lovely Andrew that's in our ears, we'll see you all again real soon for more of this Cadence Clinic. Keep your questions coming in. Bye.
Take care, everybody.